but today I'm the greatest of all time. Thank you.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we ain't got nothing to hide, we move forward like soldiers. You better wake up for the pace up, or you'll pay up. Don't make love to the game, bruh, fuck the game up. Change up, rearrange stuff to your greatness. Famous for the way up, play the game, bruh.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top, yeah.
You know I'm always honest, there ain't no way I'll ever stop it.
I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top,
I'm always flirting with pain, she like to hurt me and maim. I'm always working to change, but she's still lurking the same. I keep on building this dynasty while the haters be trying me, but they hate from inside.
All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to a special edition of Unscripted here on the Elite Sports and Entertainment Network. We have a lot to get into today, and we'll get into it in just a moment. First off, I want to give a big shout out and welcome to my co-host today, Jay McLuffin. Jay, what's going on, my brother?
It is a beautiful day today. My Astros won yesterday.
Okay.
The Mariners lost. We're 9 games back right now, but we're sitting in second. Logan, I'm not saying we're going to automatically get into the wild card, but I'm saying there is still a possibility out there. We haven't hit the All-Star break. Logan, I still feel kind of good about it.
We've still got about 20 some odd games before we get to the All-Star break in baseball. And like we said, the first half of the season is always fun to just watch. You want your team to be competitive. You don't necessarily need to be cream of the crop, top team. But as long as you're competitive and you got a chance, the second half is where all the money's made. And it's going to be interesting to see what all of our teams do. Of course, we'll be covering that here live on the show. Before we get into what our topic is going to be today, we have a very special announcement. If you caught our show earlier this week, you'll know what's coming. But we're going to play it for those of you who might not have seen it. We have a very special show coming in the woodworks very soon here to the network. Without further ado, here it is. Jay, your baby's back.
I'm excited, man. This show's going to be awesome, Logan. It's going to be sports, conversations, social. I mean, you name it, we're going to talk about it. It's going to be, that's why we call it the whiskey hour. It's a gentleman's conversation. Gals, you're more than welcome to hang out with us. It's going to be everything. And I'm really super excited to get this thing going.
Of course, and that's going to be fun. Like I said, stay tuned, stay locked into all the social media channels you see here on the screen: Facebook, X, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch. Also, go and connect with us on LinkedIn as well to learn more about everything. And also, Jay, very special day today, because if you guys are feeling down, if you're tired, if you had a long day, if you need a pick-me-up, well, Jay, I have just the brand for you. W Energy. That is who we have partnered with to help us out, to help you out, and with great flavors, Jay, such as mango orange cream, strawberry banana, push and punch energy. And of course, how could you forget, Jay? How could you forget the tremendous Galaxy Grenade energy drink tub? Ooh, and of course, you see on the screen there, I got the Dragonade Jitterless Energy Blend. It gives you the energy, doesn't give you the caffeine jitters. And just for you, our fans, you can use our promo code ESEN for 10% off your order. Once again, you can use that code ESEN. Go to wenergy.com. We have the website in our description of all of our episodes. Once again, it's going to be wgw.gg. That is the website. Once again, the link is in our description. Go over there, check us out, and be sure to use promo code ESEN to support us. And like I said, you can get some good energy drinks at a very affordable cost. So let's get thanks for them for helping us out. And Jay, let's get into our topic today. A team who is still energized, who is still excited, is the Boston Celtics. We saw the other day that they have won their now NBA leading 18th championship, surpassed, of course, the Lakers. Those are the main two franchises. Number 18, Jay, and they got it done. Like I said, they got beat up on. And they were looking good. They were rolling out to, of course, a 3-0 lead. Game 4 didn't look so hot, but my God, they come back with a fire and a fury to round things out. Plus, the thing too, Jay, they won it at home. They won it at the Garden. I think, and it was also the exact date that they won it back in 2008. So a lot of emotions there. It's been, like I said, 15 plus years since the Celtics have won a championship, but that is no more. And some of the guys you see on the screen there are some of the main contributors. But, Jay, what were your thoughts just overall the series? And, of course, we have a new king on top, and that's the Celtics for this upcoming season.
Yeah, my thoughts, Logan, thank you for first of all for the introduction, man. Hey, my thoughts is this. Frankie Cruz Jr. is a very sad boy right now because his Lakers are no longer in the tie.
They're second.
Now he's second fiddle to the Irish, the Larry Bird, the McHales, the Bill Russells, now the new guard of Jason Tatum, Jason Brown. I mean,
yeah.
And Porzingis. I mean, this is and Horford, for crying out loud. Horford's been in the league for years. And finally, the Dominican Republican native is now an NBA champion. It took him a long time, but he got there. And that's all.
Yeah.
Hey, and let's be honest. This was built off of what Udoka left Missoula, and then Missoula carried the torch and got it done. I want to say this. First of all, congratulations to Jaylen Brown, Finals MVP. The guy was averaging 25-5 for the series. I mean, just phenomenal work by him. And he's a classy guy, super classy guy. I really liked it because when the confetti was dropping down in the Garden, he went up to Luka, put his head next to his ear, and said, "Hey, you got the best from me. Love you, bro." Luka said back, "Love you too." And he said, "Yes, sir." Now, that is a classy damn exchange, right? I mean, classy. So all around, man, Jaylen Brown, big props up. And let's be honest, this goes back to the trade of Garnett and Paul Pierce. And then that's how you got Jaylen Brown and Tatum, respectively, and I believe it was a 2016 and 2017 first round, third overall picks. And that's how you got this. So these two guys were all a beneficiary of the Garnett-Paul Pierce trade. So again, man, Celtics making great moves back in the day, and it led up to what we got going on right now. Look, here's the thing, man. He said, "Luka, you're a killer." That's what Jaylen Brown said to him. He said, "You're a killer. You got the best from me." And Luka, you are kind of a killer, but guy, you really hurt your team big time. He struggled from the arc. That was number one. But number two was he had an average turnover rate of 4.6. And you can't do 4.6 when you're the big dog of your franchise. It's just not going to get it done. And obviously Game 5 showed it at 106-88. I got to tell you, Logan, I'm 100% convinced. And now they're not going to say, nobody's going to say this to you, but I'm convinced that Game 4 was basically Celtics flopping and just basically to extend the series a little bit. I really don't think that, you can't go the first 3 games and not let this team get to 100 points. Then you think you get crushed in Game 5, only to come back and repeat games 1 through 3. Let's be honest. The Celtics never trailed at all in Game 5. Not one time did they ever. Matter of fact, this game was over at halftime, Logan. It was 67-46 at the half. Logan,
it was a large lead. Yeah, it was a large lead, and also, Jay, I want to give shout outs and credits. Guy we haven't mentioned, guy who didn't make maybe the biggest impact per se, but for him just to be out there and absolutely. To help and to play decoy and to push through it was Kristaps Porzingis. Yeah. And a lot of respect for him this series.
Yeah,
absolutely. A guy who's been banged up for a little while now. Didn't know how it would be. Obviously didn't play in the Eastern Conference Finals. Came back. We knew he had some insane injury no one's really ever heard of, but he knew he was hurt, but he said, "I'm not missing this." I'm not missing this chance. And he played in the games. Like I say, he didn't make the biggest impact in the stat sheets, but the fact that he was still out there and doing his best and just doing what he needed to do to help this team get the win. And then obviously you saw right after it said, all right, he's getting surgery the next day. So I just want to give him a shout out for doing his work. Like you said, Al Horford, a guy who has been around the league for a very long time. Jay played in all 19 games in the postseason. He was there. He really stepped up when Porzingis went down. And that's why you get those crafty veterans on your team. That's why you do that. And would you look at that and see that's why we like this show, Jay. It's a live show. We never know who the heck's we never know who's going to do.
Talk about the Lakers and Frankie will pop up. If I talk about the Yankees or the Lakers, I swear to God, I don't care if Frankie Cruz Jr. is on the pooper with explosive diarrhea. He will find a way to get on the damn show. The Yankees or the Lakers.
Jay, I think I know exactly where Frankie was. Frankie wasn't doing any of that. I think he was using our promo code ESCN to get 10% off a nice energy drink. Frankie, how you doing, buddy? Glad to have you on, my friend. How are you,
guys? I'm good. I'm good right now. I'm hot. I'm in this heat wave of what's going on in New York, and it's bad. But I'm doing good. I'm sitting in the AC. I'm good.
I got you. Hey, well, Frankie, what you think, man? What you think of the finals in general, and of course, Boston coming out on top after a very long drought for them?
Well, you guys know me as a Laker fan. I'm not really excited about it. But then again, it's long overdue for the Boston Celtics and their fan base. I mean, they literally have gone well over 10 years, close to almost 20 in another 4 years. 2008 was the last time they beat them, and the last time they actually won a championship, and that was against my Lakers back in 2008. So for this new generation of Boston Celtics, it's really well deserved. And Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, they needed this. They really needed this because this was a championship or bust moment year for them. Doing all the trades that they did, all the free agent signings that they did. This was a moment where it was like, listen, we either win it or we're just gonna bust it out and choke. And I feel like them winning 64 games in the regular season, being the best NBA team in the regular season, proved that they were ready to do it. I do have a little bit of hiccups, and I don't like to throw little I don't like to throw little shades or stuff like they deserved it. They deserved it. But let's be real, all right, guys. Let's be real. Every single person and every single series that they faced, a superstar was either injured or not playing. So I mean,
yeah. I mean, you're right. You're right. You know what? They lost Porzingis, and it was like it didn't even matter.
No,
next man up. Let's go.
Hold on. You're right. You're right. They did lose Porzingis, but let's be real, Jay. Do they really need Porzingis?
I mean, they showed that they quote unquote did.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. Well, but was it not having Porzingis, or honestly, is it just a lackluster performance from the Dallas Mavericks?
I feel like it's more so lackluster for Dallas because we saw. Like I said, we discussed about how Boston ran through everyone in the East as they should have. They were the number one seed coming in. That's what you're supposed to do to teams. You're supposed to beat the crap out of all of them. That's what they did. Then they got to the biggest game of their journeys of this season, and then they won. They only lost one game against arguably against one of the best backcourts in the league with Luka and Kyrie, and they made them look like they were just playing at the park.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Tatum and Brown, going back to Frankie's point of 08, Tatum and Brown have been in 107 career playoff games for the duo. That's the most playoff games of any duo that hadn't won a title.
Plus the scary thing too, Jay,
they won 107 games, Logan, before they got their first title together. 107 playoff games before they got their first title together. Let that say. And then number two, let's be honest. Kyrie Irving screwed the pooch. I mean, he went 5 of 16 for 15 points, 3 of 9 at the arc in Game 5, and Luka couldn't hit behind the arc to save his life. Nor could he play defense, and he was a turnover machine. I mean, when you got your two best guys, and neither one of these guys are doing a damn thing. Yeah, the Celtics. I think Minnesota would have been a damn better matchup against that Boston than Dallas, honestly.
No, I get what you're saying. Also, I'm kind of surprised, Jay, because whenever we were looking at this series, just kind of previewing it, a guy who did really well in the Western Conference Finals, who ended up not really doing much in the NBA Finals, who I thought was going to be more of an impact player and kind of that third guy to step up there in Dallas, was Derek Lively. No, not PJ Washington. I thought it was going to be Derek Lively.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too.
I mean, because he looked great in the
game
conference.
5. Hey, PJ never showed up. He only gave you 4 points on 2 of 7 and 0 of 5 at the arc. That's terrible.
PJ didn't do much either.
Lively, which is the one guy on the bench that had been kind of their savior a little bit. Well, then this guy does. He screws the pooch. You know, he goes what? He went. I had it written down. He went 2 points. 2 points.
He got you 2 points in 24 minutes. He was just getting cardio.
Can we get him on the Lakers? That's what I'm talking about right there. We need some players with cardio.
No, yeah, and I will say, I think you could probably say the third best player for the Celtics is the guy on the very far right with the bald head, with the bald head over there,
and chip tooth.
I'm about to say chip tooth, Derek White, man. Hey. In 35 minutes throughout the playoffs, he averaged 16.7 points. And also, I know you mentioned turnover ratio, Jay, and he is the point guard, 0.8 turnover ratio.
Yeah. That man said, Logan, that he would chip all of his teeth. If
he said, I'm going to go at it, yeah.
I just want to say something about Derek White.
Team.
I just want to say something about Derek White. He's a really good ball player.
He is.
But every single series that these guys have played on in this playoffs, from the very beginning to the winning the championship, every single team has made Derek White look like an MVP star caliber
You're not
player.
kidding, man.
And it's unbelievable because this is a guy that should be scoring at least 20 points, probably a little bit less than that, averaging more assists than anybody else on that team. Instead, this dude is shooting at a high range of the high 20s. His assist is not as high, but it's still as a point guard level. They're making this dude look like an MVP caliber player. And then he goes face first into the face. I'm going to say it again slowly. Yeah. Face first, not side of the head, not the top of the forehead. He went face first into the court, chipped his tooth, and said, "Ring me right now. Put a ring on my finger."
And you saw it, right? Because I was looking at the box score for Game 5, and what really I think killed the Mavericks was on the glass. They couldn't get rebounds to save their lives.
Yeah.
In Game 5, Boston had 51 rebounds. Dallas had 35. Yep. Derek White, who we just mentioned, who's a point guard, had 8 rebounds. When you look when you look at Washington, or excuse me, when you look at Dallas, and their top rebounder was Luka.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the big guys, Gafford, 3 rebounds. Washington, 6. I mean, the bench was doing nothing. And that's what we said in Game 1. After Game 1, we said, if Dallas wants to win this championship, they got to have bench production. They had bench production in one game, and that's the game they won, and that's the game when Tim Hardaway was scoring all those points out of nowhere. Other than that, we saw the entire series. It was just 2 guys versus a team, and in the end, the team won.
And I said that to my wife, guys.
Logan, that's the thing. Boston had an elite defense.
Yes.
They're a 3-point scoring machine, and when Luka can't stop you, and he's turning the ball over, and nobody's rebounding, and your bench is not 9 of 17, and you're one big guy off the bench that you absolutely count on, only gives you 2. That's a recipe for. And let's be honest, my hat is off to Missoula. Step in your league and walk through the ring. Now, granted, he had a damn hellified team, but still, you still got to coach. You still got to put out the right plays and put them in the right positions, all that kind of stuff, right?
And man, he talked about just kind of gift wrap a championship to him after the whole Udoka situation. I mean, Boston at that time was like, man, what the heck's going on here? They don't have a head coach. And then Missoula came along. And everyone's like, all right, this guy's coming along, but how is he going to do? I mean, we saw that he is – and the scary thing, too, is that he's a young coach.
Only 35.
He's a young coach for
Youngest
a
coach to win.
semi-young team. You know,
Youngest coach to win.
Yeah, and
you know he's the youngest coach now. He is the youngest coach to ever run. You know who was the second youngest, or you know who he actually outbeat in terms of age? Bill Russell. 1969, Bill Russell captured the championship, and he was the youngest up until Missoula came in now and did it. And they both did it with Boston.
I looked it up. Al Horford is 38. Missoula's 35. I had to look it up.
Let that sink in for a minute.
Yeah. But, yeah, like you said, Boston as a team, they wanted it more. I mean, just
they did.
And I said this to my wife at Game 4, right? Because this game is obviously on ABC, and you guys know the job scenario with my wife. She she plays the commercials for ABC and Fox and stuff like that. So she was dealing with so much at work because this game is so huge. It's the final. She's got this game and she's got the Stanley Cup. So she's busy at work and she's just like, I want this over with already.
Let's end this in 5.
Game 4 happens and she's like, did the Celtics win? I said, no, they actually lost. They didn't even get to 80 points, honey. Yeah. She's like, what? I'm like, yeah, they didn't get to 80 points.
Yeah, they threw that game though.
I said that to her. I said they didn't want to win.
They wanted to get it home.
They didn't want to win. Yeah, they wanted to win it in Boston in front of their fans. They wanted to make history by the last time they won, guys, June 17th, 2008.
Yep.
And by the way, you're tracking. This is how dominant the Celtics were in the playoffs. They were 16-3 and finished at 80-21 overall record in the playoffs. How crazy is that?
Like you said,
16-3.
16-3 is a great run.
I'm sorry, that was their overall record. Their overall record was
overall. When you add that in,
I'm sorry, that's what I meant. Overall record was 80-21. That's how dominant.
617 is their favorite number. That's their area code, and that's the 2 days that they won their last 2 championships.
Oh, by the way, folks, let me tell you another record. I just told you that the 2 youngest coaches ever in the league to win a championship both came from Boston. Well, guess what? The Celtics had a 792 winning percentage. That's second in team history behind the 85 Celtics that did it with the 820, and their overall record was 82-18. That's how dominant. I mean, we're talking about this team was just as dominant as back in the Bird days. That's how crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I think whenever we reflect on this and, in a couple of years after it passes, I mean, this has all the makings to be one of the best teams of the 2020s for sure. I mean, just with, like you mentioned, how dominant they were in the playoffs. Like I said, they only lost 1 game in not even every series. Right. They never lost twice. I mean,
I do want to say this about Luka. I really got a lot of respect for him when he said, look, I had chest injuries, right knee injury, left ankle injuries, but that had no bearing on the loss. I was out there and just failed basically to get it done. And he acknowledges that.
Respect him for that.
Yeah, no, but that shows me that, okay, this guy's not looking for excuses. He's owning up to it. And that's the first step to coming back with a vengeance to right that wrong.
And he was still playing through it. This man was scoring. He was scoring 30 points and still playing through it. Mm-hmm. And like you said, and I want to bring up what you said earlier, Jay. Where was Kyrie? I feel like when Kyrie when he has to play against Boston, because this isn't the first time we've seen him play against Boston when he got to Brooklyn, and he was terrible. The atmosphere for Kyrie when he enters that building at TD Gardens in Boston, it's gone. Yeah, it's gone. His momentum is gone. The fans suck it out of him, and all he can do is trash talk the fans because he cannot show it on the court. Kyrie,
and actually, the evidence that supports what Frankie is telling you, Irving has lost 13 out of 14 contests versus the Celtics. 13 out of 14 times he's lost.
He can't beat them, and I think honestly, I think it's because the fan. He's too focused on the fans booing him, calling him names, chanting so many trash talks out to him on the court, and his momentum and his visual is looking at the fans. Like he did at Game 2 when they lost. He's looking at the fans, pointing five fingers. Okay, you're gonna see them in Game 5. You saw them in Game 5, and you didn't do anything. So what the hell are you doing?
But Kyrie also said that, quote unquote, he thinks the best is still yet to come for the Mavs. He said, look, but Kyrie's basically saying, we made it to the playoffs, so we can get there. Now we got to improve on – and look, that really is true. Look, it's hard to get there, but I don't know. They have a lot of work to do out there in Dallas.
And I think we can all agree. The main issue that the Mavericks have is they got to get some bench depth. If they can get some bench depth, they could get back there.
That and they also, and Luka, over this offseason, somebody's got to get in Luka's head and be like, yo, bro, great offensive effort.
Yep.
Great. You got to develop the defense.
Yeah. You got to get some defense.
Listen, I'm not mad.
And you got to quit barking at the refs because that's what cost them that one game.
Look, I totally agree with both of you on Luka's defense, but real talk, and this is probably just me and what I see on Luka. I don't think Luka. Listen, people should stop talking bad about Luka's defensive performance. Yes, he played defensive terribly, but when you're a player of Luka's caliber, you're a shooter. You're known for being an awesome shooter. 3 points, layups, floaters, anything. You're awesome at that. The people around you, that's the reason you have power forwards, small forwards, centers. They're supposed to be those guys that come up and help you with the defensive performance. They're the ones that's supposed to, like Logan said earlier, they're the ones that are supposed to get you your rebounds. Why the hell you have three big people that are only getting you 36 rebounds in a game?
They can't do nothing.
Luka needs help surrounding him. Like, I understand why everybody's talking about the defensive performance on him, but like I said, he's a shooter. That's what Luka is known for, kind of like Steph Curry. Does Steph Curry play really good defense? Sometimes. But we've known Steph Curry for being one of the best shooters in the NBA, if not the best shooter in the NBA. And that's what Luka is. He's a good and a great shooter. So I don't think Luka's defensive performance should be thrown at him too much. But I feel like
a liability.
I think no.
I agree.
And that's the thing is that in big games like the NBA Finals, it gets magnified. I mean, we always know, and we knew since he came to the league that Luka's not a perennial. You know, he's not going to win any Defensive Player of the Year awards or nothing like that. We know that. We know that he is a pure scorer, like Frankie said. He's like Curry. He's like Carmelo back in the day. Carmelo didn't play like a defense, but that's why you build teams around him. You know,
I also think
why you're supposed to do that.
And Logan, what you just said, I think that's what also takes him out of MVP conversations. Yes, he's in the top 3 all the time, but the reason he doesn't win it is because of his defensive performance.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, let's be honest. If I want to get Luka out of the game, all I got to do is attack him. I can attack him. He will foul out of the game. I guarantee you. And then he's not only going to foul out, but he's going to bitch at the refs about why he fouled out.
Listen, when he had the ball in game 5 and excuse me, sorry. When he had the ball in game 5 and Jaylen Brown fell, he was holding defense and Jaylen Brown fell. Luka ended up falling after him, and he's holding his ankle, acting like something happened. I saw the replay. Excuse me, Luka. Nothing happened to your ankle, sir. All right, don't pull a LeBron James now. We saw you slip. Do not hold your ankles. Don't hold your Achilles. You slipped, sir, and you lost the ball. We saw what happened. You're not hurt on your ankle.
And I mean, and like we said, he's what, 24? He's still super young. I mean, he's got ample time. Oh, dude, for sure.
He's got a lot of time, but somebody's got to get him. This offseason, the biggest thing the Mavericks, if they want to get to a championship, the biggest thing they can do over this offseason is teaching him, number one, how to get that better defensive side to him. And then number 2, get into his head and say, yo, stop talking to the damn refs. Just leave it alone. Because the refs are not going to – that's why Jordan got all the calls. That's why Bron gets all the – because they don't talk down about the refs. If anything, they finesse the refs, which is why you know what they you get more.
That's what the greats do.
Luka's like straight vinegar. When it comes to the ref, Luka's like straight vinegar. That's why they don't like him. And by the way, guys, the one last stat I want to give you. You know, when you're 0-3, when you start off the series 0-3, it is 0 for 167, I believe it is. No, 157. It is 0 for 157 is the record of 0-3 teams.
Yeah, so you are done for if you ever get to that. But yeah, it was. I thought, just my final thoughts here before we wrap things up. I thought it was going to be more competitive. I thought it was going to be maybe 6 games. Obviously, I didn't expect blowouts. I didn't expect Dallas's offense to go ice cold in the first couple of games where they didn't score 100 points. I thought Kyrie was going to be better. I expected Derek Lively to be better. But just as a team, Dallas just couldn't really get it going, except for game 4 where they got the win, where their bench decided to show up for once. But we saw in the end that, I mean, the starters, the guys you see on the screen there, Porzingis, Holiday, who we didn't really even mention, but we know he does more defense than offense, which is why you have him on your team. I mean, Derek White, of course, Tatum and Brown, your top two, Al Horford. The Celtics just as a team, we saw in the regular season they were dominant. We saw it in the postseason they were dominant. They were just the top team of the year. And that's why they're bringing home Larry O'Brien. That's why they're bringing home another championship for the 18th time, because led by a young coach who apparently is obviously, you can see, loved by the locker room, respected in Mazzulla. I mean, this team has all the pieces that they can keep it together. I mean, they could go on some runs here. They could be back in the finals in a couple of years, just because they're finally all getting in their primes. They're all gelling together. It's finally starting to work and click for them, like the fans have been hoping for, back in 21 when they lost to the Warriors. They thought, okay, maybe this is it here. It wasn't that time yet. Had to wait a couple more years. They finally got the championship, though, fellas. Number 18.
I want to say something. Jay, you can go ahead. I saw your finger up, but I'm going to say something.
Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead and give your final thoughts.
No, I was just going to say, we talked about, Mazzulla being the youngest now, and Bill Russell was the youngest, and he outdid. I thought it was really awesome that when the Celtics took the crown in Game 5, Bill Russell's wife, Janine, and his daughter, Karen, were at the game in attendance. I mean, I just thought it was kind of cool. It's almost like a full circle moment, No,
of course. I understand that completely. Just a really neat time and a good moment. But, Frankie, what's your final thoughts here, my friend? We'll get things out of here.
First, I want to say, I know Milwaukee's pissed. I know Giannis is pissed.
Uh-huh.
How the hell can somebody go ahead and already win one more ring than us? But hey, that's the name of the game. Listen, congratulations, Boston. Yep. You guys are world champions again.
They earned it.
Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, an amazing duo. I actually like Jason Tatum because he learned from Kobe, and Kobe's his guy and stuff like that. But I just want to. We don't have to say it now because we're about to leave. But maybe in the next show, I want to throw this out there. How long before we see Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum say, "I'm out of here. I want to win a ring by myself"? They got the ring together. They got the ring together, and everybody's been waiting and seeing, can they get it? They got it. Now, which one is going to leave and get it on their own?
You're right, and we will see what happens. But, guys, we appreciate you coming on the show today. Frankie, for popping in. Always fun, my brother. And, of course, Jay, who's always helped me out. I've been your host and producer, Logan Landis. Guys, if you like the show, once again, give us a like, follow, share, and subscribe on Facebook, X, YouTube, Twitch, and, of course, check us out on LinkedIn. And be sure to use promo code ESEN for 10% off your order over at W.GG for some high-quality energy supplements over there. Once again, for Jay McLovin, Frankie Yankee, I've been your host, producer, Logan Landers. Guys, we'll talk to you again on another live episode.